Okay, very good morning to one and all. Okay, today we'll discuss about the dispensing of controlled drugs. First of all, you have to know what is meant by these controlled drugs. Clear? See, that means in case of large hospitals, what happens? Some dangerous drugs. You are having some dangerous drugs. Okay, like morphine or the opium derivatives. If you see the opium, okay, derivatives. And next one is like morphine and pethidine. Clear? And okay, and some of the drugs like barbiturates and also the non-barbiturates. You are having some non-barbiturates. Okay, mainly these two, barbiturates and non-barbiturates, will be used as a CNS depressants. And if you see, these are some of the dangerous drugs that will be used in the hospital for various purpose. Clear? See, these all you will call it as a controlled drugs. Okay, what is this controlled drugs in large hospitals? Okay, in the small hospitals, mostly they will not use these kind of drugs, but in case of large hospitals, okay, they are using some dangerous drugs like opium derivatives, morphine, pethidine, okay, and also the barbiturates and non-barbiturates for the various purpose. Clear? See, mainly if you see, these all kind of drugs that are going to be comes under the Schedule X. This comes under the Schedule X of Drugs and Cosmetic Act 1940. Okay, that is Cosmetic Drugs and Cosmetic Act 1940. But if you see the control use of these drugs, okay, if you want the control use of these drugs, okay, that is Narcotics and Psychotropic Substance Act was passed. Clear? See, for the control use of these drugs, we are having one act, that is Narcotics and Psychotropic Substance Act was passed for the control use of these drugs. Okay, see, this is regarding the controlled drugs. If you see, these are the examples of the controlled drugs. There comes under the Schedule X of Drugs and Cosmetic Act 1940, and you are having another act, that is Narcotics and Psychotropic Substance Act was passed for the control use of these kind of drugs. Clear? The next one is, if you see, the maintaining stock of the, okay, the drugs. Okay, for maintaining the stock of these drugs, they should be kept under lock and key. They should be kept under lock and key and must be accurately received and issued. Clear? You remember this also, maintaining the stock of these drugs, okay, must be kept under lock and key and must be accurately received and accurately issued to the patients. Okay, there must be a separate register. Clear? Should be maintained, okay, to record, and also some controlled procedures should be followed. Okay, controlled procedures should be followed to issue these drugs or to receive these kind of drugs. Okay, this is some introduction regarding these controlled drugs. If you see, what are these controlled drugs in large hospitals, they are having some dangerous drugs like opium derivatives, morphine, pethidine, and next one is you're having CNS depressants like barbiturates and non-barbiturates. If you see, all these kinds of drugs comes under the Schedule X of Drugs and Cosmetic Act 1940. But for the control use of these drugs, we are having another act, that is Narcotics and Psychotropic Substance Act. Clear? And next one is the maintenance of the stock, okay, of these drugs should be kept under lock and key and must be accurately received and accurately issued to the patients. Okay, next one is a separate register should be maintained And next one is a controlled procedure should be followed to issue these kind of drugs as well as to receive these kind of drugs. Okay, next we'll see the dispensing of these controlled drugs, how these kind of drugs are going to be dispensed in the hospitals. Okay, the first thing is you have to remember, that is medical superintendent. Okay, this medical superintendent is the overall responsible for handling of these controlled drugs. Clear? You remember here the medical superintendent is overall responsible for handling of these controlled drugs. Okay, rather than that, we are also having chief pharmacist. Clear? After this medical superintendent, you are having this chief pharmacist. Okay, this chief pharmacist is going to be procures, okay, these controlled drugs, and this chief pharmacist can store these drugs, and this chief pharmacist is responsible for proper dispensing of drugs. Okay, responsible for proper dispensing of drugs within the hospital. Clear? So this is the first point you have to remember regarding the dispensing. Okay, what is that? Medical superintendent is the overall responsible for handling of these controlled drugs. Clear? And later on, you are having the chief pharmacist, which can procures and stores these kind of drugs, and this chief pharmacist is responsible for proper dispensing of drugs within the hospital. Clear? And next one is, if you see regarding the prescription, okay, the prescription for narcotic drugs, okay, that means the prescription for these controlled drugs, okay, that should be under Narcotics and Psychotropic Substance Act 1985. Okay, under we are having Narcotics and Psychotropic Substance Act 1985 must include the following information. Clear? See, in the prescription, okay, mainly the prescription for this kind of controlled drugs under this Narcotic and Psychotropic Substance Act 1985, which has to include the following information in the prescription. See, what all the information it should contain, that is patient full name should include. Clear? And next one is address of the patient. Next one is date. Next one is name and, okay, the strength of drug. Next one is quantity of drug. Next one is signs, that is signature of prescriber. Next one is dose and route of administration. Okay, all these information will must be present in the prescription for narcotic drugs. Okay, according to this Narcotics and Psychotropic Substance Act 1985, what they said, their prescription, okay, for these controlled drugs must include this information. Okay, what are those? Patient full name, address, date, name and strength of drug, quantity of the drug, signature of prescriber, and next one is the dose and route of administration. Okay, this is the second thing you have to remember regarding the dispensing of these controlled drugs. Okay, next we'll see third thing regarding this dispensing of controlled drugs. Suppose if the required drug is not in the stock. Okay, suppose whatever the drug required, okay, which is not in stock, okay, it is not in the stock in the wards, then what happens? See, generally I told you there will be a nursing stations, in the nursing station some drugs will be available. Clear? Suppose if the required drug is not in the stock, specifically in the nursing stations, then what happens? The complete drug prescription, okay, the complete, okay, whatever the drug prescription that will be present, that complete drug prescription must be written on, that is hospital prescription blank form. Okay, that must be written in hospital prescription, okay, blank form, okay, by the registered medical practitioner, by registered medical practitioner, and then he must sign in that form, and it must be sent to the hospital pharmacy. Clear? See, directly these drugs we should not procure from the hospital pharmacy. These kind of drugs will be present in the nursing stations in the specific wards. Clear? See, suppose if that required drug is not in the stock in the wards, then what happens? We should not send the prescription directly to the hospital pharmacy. Clear? That complete drug prescription must be written in hospital prescription blank form by the registered medical practitioner. Okay, it should not be written by any nurses or any pharmacist. Clear? That must be written by the registered medical practitioner, and they have to sign in that blank form, and then only that form will be sent to the hospital pharmacy if the drug is not available in the wards. Clear? See, and next thing is the completed form. See, whatever the form written by the registered medical practitioner. Clear? See, that completed form, okay, along with empty containers, okay, whatever the empty containers that are present in the nursing stations, okay, and also we have to send one nurse inventory sheet, okay, that is nurse inventory sheet. See, that means these nurse have found out the absence of these drugs. Okay, they are having one sheet. Okay, that sheet, okay, is sent to the pharmacy for the dispensing. Clear? Simply the completed form we cannot send to the hospital pharmacy. Along with that completed form, we have to send the empty containers as well as the nurse inventory sheet. Clear? See, whatever the prescription, clear, I told you, the prescription signed by the registered, okay, the prescription that is signed by registered medical practitioner. Clear? She will also permit the patient to purchase the drugs from outside pharmacy also. Clear? That is compulsory. They should not take from the hospital pharmacy. If the prescription is signed by the registered medical practitioner, means which permits the patient, okay, to purchase the drugs from outside the pharmacy also. Okay, this is the third thing you remember here regarding the dispensing of this controlled drugs. Clear? See, what I told you, if the stock is not available, then the drug prescription, okay, the complete drug prescription must be written in a hospital prescription blank form, that must be signed by the registered medical practitioner, then which will be sent to the hospital pharmacy. Okay, that completed form along with the empty containers and one nurse inventory sheet, they must be sent to the hospital pharmacy. Suppose if the, no doubt the prescription is signed by the registered medical practitioner, so this must be, okay, permits the patient to purchase the drugs from outside the pharmacy also. Clear? And next, coming to the delivery of this kind of narcotic drugs, once everything has been sent to the hospital pharmacy, next come to the delivery. Okay, the delivery of the narcotic drugs, okay, the delivery of, okay, these narcotic drugs, if you see, from pharmacy to the wards, okay, from pharmacy to the wards or to the nursing stations, clear, must be carried out through some reliable persons. Only that will be carried by only the reliable persons. Okay, not all the persons should carry these kind of drugs to the wards from pharmacy, but that must be carried out only with some reliable persons only. Clear. And next coming to the charges. Clear. Once coming to the charges for narcotic and psychotropic substances, mainly depends upon the policy of hospital. Clear. The charges, okay, charges for the narcotic and psychotropic substances mainly depends upon the policy of the hospitals. Clear. See, that means it could be like the charges may be made for individual dose. Okay, that is charges, okay, may be made for individual doses. Okay, this, in this way they are going to be charged, okay, for the patient regarding these kind of drugs. Okay, mainly the charges for these controlled drugs depends upon the policy of the hospital. The charges may be made for the individual doses. Clear. See, that means once after dispensing, that means what happens from pharmacy, it has been reached to the wards and the nursing stations. Okay, after dispensing, what happens after dispensing of drugs to the wards and the nursing stations? It is the responsibility of the nurse, okay, for administration of the drugs, okay, administration and the control of the drugs, as well as auditing of these drugs. Okay, after dispensing the drugs, it is the responsibility of the nurse for the administration, control, and auditing. Okay, if you see regarding this auditing means daily they have to, okay, note down at what time they are giving the drugs, which route they are giving, how much dose they are giving, is there any adverse effects they have been observed. Okay, all that you will call it as auditing. Okay, it is the responsibility of the nurse after dispensing, which will be administered to the patient, and they have to control and they have to audit. Okay, auditing of these kind of drugs. Okay, suppose if this nurse is administering the drug to the patient, suppose if the patient refuses, sometimes what happens, patient refuses. Clear. Why? Because these are the narcotic drugs, okay, which is not a normal drugs, which is having a lot of side effects. Sometimes there is a chance of patient refuses if the nurse is administering the drug, or if the doctor cancels any dose. Suppose if the doctor, okay, cancels any dose. Okay, in these two conditions, what happens? It is the duty of the nurse immediately to destroy the drug in the sink, and they have to record, okay, what they have to record as refused by the patient, record as refused by patient, or they have to record as ordered cancelled by doctor. Okay, order cancelled by doctor. Okay, these two they have to record it. Clear. See, if the nurse is going to be administering these kind of drugs to the patient, sometimes what happens, these two you can observe, that is patient refuses, or sometimes a doctor cancels any dose. Okay, in these two conditions, it is the responsibility of the nurse to destroy the drug immediately into the sink, and they have to record. Okay, suppose if the drug is refused by the patient, they have to record as refused by the patient. Suppose if the doctor cancels the dose, they have to write it as order cancelled by the doctor. Clear? The next one is the nurse always should maintain a proper record. Always should maintain a proper record in case of wastage, clear, or the destruction or contamination. or the contamination of these kind of controlled drugs. Clear? So this is remember, you think this is the last thing, that is, suppose after administrating, if there is any refuses from the patient or the doctor cancels any dose, they have to maintain like this. And finally, proper record must be maintained by the nurses regarding the wastage destruction as well as the contamination of these kind of controlled drugs. Okay, that's all students regarding the dispensing of the controlled drugs.